Okay, so we're on to our next recipe for the day, and as you saw earlier, if you watched our video, we did make our winter wine sangria. Cheers.
Cheers.
But we also got to get a little liquid courage there before we cook.
Yeah.
That's right. So what we're going to make next is a nice warm appetizer. It's the Cheesy Reuben Appetizer, which is from Ann in Houston, I believe, Houston, Texas. Yeah. It contributed that to our recipe book. So this is one of the easiest things you're going to do. Other than turning the oven on for 400 degrees, this is so few pieces. The first thing we're going to throw in is just 8 ounces of cream cheese. So that's the very basic Philly cream cheese container you're used to. Nothing difficult there. And then you're also going to add in 6 ounces of shredded Swiss cheese. The Swiss cheese typically comes in a 6-ounce container. You use the first 5 right away. And I know you can buy your own cheese and shred it yourself. I don't like to destroy my knuckles, and I'll let you go ahead and get started. You are the official musher.
Okay, well, and I think it's important to point out that before you start this, you really should let the cream cheese soften.
That's right, and that's why we had it sitting out for a little while.
Come to room temperature, not straight out of the refrigerator, just because it'll make your mushing a lot easier.
Right. Now, one trick I learned that might be news to the both of you from my single days is if you're ever cooking for a young lady, this is a tip to you guys out there. Even if your cooking involves getting takeout, unboxing it before she comes over, and then throwing the boxes away before she sees it. In one of our other recipes today, we're going to be using some garlic cloves. One of the things I found was a great little secret is you take one of the garlic cloves, just smush it, toss it into a frying pan with a stick of butter, and no matter what you're cooking, doesn't matter what cuisine you're cooking, your house or apartment is going to smell fantastic.
It's gonna smell really
They're going to
good.
think you totally know what you're doing, even if all you're doing is unboxing Chinese food and throwing the box.
Such a gourmet.
Right. So the next thing we're adding is this. So we've added the cream cheese, we've added the Swiss cheese. We're going to add, in a second, about a half cup of Thousand Island dressing. And I had a spoon here a second ago, and I've managed to misplace it. Can I sneak in?
Sure.
See, so unprofessional of me. So we're going to add that. So that's
I don't
obviously.
think we ever claim to be professional.
No, that's the whole point. It's about regular people who are ready to do this.
That's right.
Then the last thing we're adding is, of course, what's the cornerstone of any good Reuben? It's the corned beef. Now, when I asked for my corned beef, instead of getting normal sandwich cut at the deli, I went for a thick cut, so half of my work is already done for me.
Yep, so you can dice it. I have another recipe. I do the same thing.
Yeah, and it's so easy. They look at you crazy when you're asking for
They do.
because they think you're going to make sandwich.
Yeah.
They're like, really? Is that? I think they think I'm making like a brontosaurus burger sandwich.
Every time I ask, I'm like, am I the only person that asks for thick cuts sandwich meat so you can dice it?
But it's one of those easy. I guess the modern term would be it's like a life hack, if you will, of how to let the folks at the grocery store do a little work for you. It doesn't do them anymore.
Exactly.
Take any more effort on their part.
That's right. It's very semi-homemade.
That's right. So we're going to go ahead and drop that in there. My hands were washed beforehand, I promise. Only a little sangria spilled on me.
That's just gonna...
Okay, so we've added in cream cheese, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island dressing, and the corned beef that we've already diced up. Take a little bit of spray pan in this case, and into a pie pan. And we just want to spread that out just nice and evenly. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to be pretty by the time it's done. As soon as we got that all spread out. Now that was, I think, one of the tips you said is about letting that soften. There's so many things that we don't think about. That butter, any dairy, almost any dairy other than the liquid dairy, anytime you can get that out a little bit early, it's great to let it soften.
Yeah, and butter will not go bad sitting on your counter for a while.
Right.
I mean, I think people worry about that too, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. So the next thing we want to do then is I'm going to borrow that fork if I could.
Yep.
So all we're doing is we've got about a cup of sauerkraut that's been drained. It's not rinsed. Just drained because you don't want to get rid of all that good flavor. I mean, that's really part of the
right, but you don't want it to be really wet.
Right.
And have it on the dip.
And then if you can sprinkle, I said with the 6 ounces of cheese, we use the first 5 ounces in the mix.
Oh, that's right.
This is to get a nice little coating on top.
All right.
And in the magic of online videos,
TV land,
we have.
Oh, and it smells amazing in here. I have got to say that because unfortunately we don't have smell-o-vision.
That's what it looks like.
It smells so good.
So, and one of the things we noted about entertaining is I got a nice big basket of pita chips to try this with.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Some people are gluten-free. So what's a great thing to go with it? Something you recommended.
Well, we're going to try it with carrots. I would actually recommend some nut thin crackers. Would be perfect, or even tortilla chips. Honestly, would be good with this.
Good.
I think.
Good.
So.
All right. Robin, you got to come back and screen and help us share this. It might be a little bit
It's
hot.
gonna be
though.
hot,
But it looks and smells delicious.
It really does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? And I love, love, love Reubens, so I have been super excited to try this. Look how steamy it is.
I know, it's so
Isn't
sizzling.
it delicious?
I don't care if it burns my mouth. That's fantastic.
That's what the sangria is for.
That's right.
So, just so that we know, so this is something, again, prepare this the night before, sit it in the fridge, just cover it up. 15 minutes at 400 degrees and you're done. This is another example, not only of something you can do at home, like the sangria you do day ahead of time, but also if you're going to somebody's house, admittedly sometimes their ovens are being used, but if you just say, hey, can I have one oven?
Yep.
Doesn't have to be under the browner. 15 minutes and you've contributed a really nice warm dip and it's just a bag
Oh
of
yeah, that's
chips.
delicious, and it
Oh.
definitely has a great depth of flavor.
And that's a sliced baguette. You could do a sliced baguette to serve this on.
Right.
Anyway, make this for your next party. It is
Absolutely.
delicious.
Okay.